What is a scale in music? To explain and to deeply learn music scales and to understand the purpose behind them, we should think about the alphabet. If we write down the English alphabet and if we think of each letter as a degree, A would be our first degree, B would be our second degree, C would be our third degree, and so on and so forth up to X, Y, Z, which is 24th, 25th, and 26th degree of our alphabet. Okay, now let's think about a single simple English word like hello. The way that we extract and build that word out of the English alphabet is by bringing down the 8th degree, then the 5th degree, then 12th degree of our alphabet, and 12th degree again, then finishing it with 15th degree of the alphabet. Now we have made a word sounds hello, and it makes sense to almost every human, at least since mid-1800. If I keep continuing this procedure and make more words out of this alphabet following by hello, eventually we have a phrase, a sentence to converse, express, or communicate. The concept behind scales in music is the same. It's exactly like the alphabet, but a musical alphabet. To not make words, but to make motifs. In music, think about motifs as a word. Words are equal to motifs. To make and write musical motifs, we have to have a predefined palette, set of sounds to provide us with a collection of notes that we can use in our composition, exactly like the way that we use the alphabet as a collection of letters to extract words. To understand it better, let's make a very commonly used classical scale which almost all beginners start with. It's called the scale of C or Do major. Why Do? Because Do is the same note as C when we're thinking of solfa method, which I always prefer to use when I think about music. I will explain later in another video, and I will go through in details explaining why is it important to learn and know solfa method and how it helps us to think musically and to write music and even become a better player. Name of each scale derived from the root, which is the first note or the first degree of this scale. So if we are going to write the scale of C or Do major, we have to start with Do or C. Let me write it down here for you. To make this a scale, we have to consecutively move up 8 steps from the root. Remember that we start counting from the root. In another word, C is our first note. Second would be Re or D. Third would be Mi or E. Fourth would be Fa or F. The fifth would be Sol or G. 6 is La or A. 7 is C or B. I call this 7th degree of the scale C instead of T. Some people call it T, but I call it C because I believe it is more original. But you can call it T if you like. 8th degree would be C or Do again, but 1 octave higher. We always start scales with the root and finish it also with the root, but 1 octave higher. Now that we wrote the scale, let's get to the interesting part. Let's apply the same procedure that we used to extract hello out of our English alphabet, but this time we're going to extract musical motifs out of our musical scale that we just built. This scale acts like our musical alphabet, provides us musical notes to choose and make motifs instead of words. I choose the first degree of the scale, writing it down. Then I would write down the 3rd degree, which is Mi. Then the 5th degree of our scale, which is Sol or G. Then 7th degree here, and then I put 1st or 8th, and then again 2nd degree, and then I finish with root again. Here is how it sounds. I think this is how Mozart extracted the first motifs of his Sonata Number 1 in C major. I hope you got a better perception, a better picture of how we use scales and how we use them to extract and write motifs, musical phrases, and eventually a whole complete piece of music. This is why scales are important, and they help us to read and understand music better. For example, we now know how come Mozart came up with these first motifs and phrases. And by knowing scales, we can become a better player. Also being able to improvise better regardless of what instrument we play. Musical scales helping us to write our own songs, or when it comes to improvising based on pre-written music. If we know and following the same scale and extracting notes out of the same scale that the composer did, we can improvise better. To keep the video short, I finished this video here, and in the next video I will explain what are major scales and how we make any 8 notes scale a major scale. If you watched the video up to here, please consider pressing that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. My name is Behzad. Thanks for watching.